I need you to wake up. The reason why I made this video is because what I've realized is that a lot of you guys tend to get the girl and lose yourselves whilst doing that. The moment you lose your spine is the moment you lose her too. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to regain everything back. I was under the impression that being the tough guy worked during the dating scene, but when it's time for you to actually choose someone, then it's time for you to become a simp or do the things that any guy should do for his woman, right? Things like, make her feel safe, provide for her, be kind, be available. Here's what no one told me or you. The second you start performing, you enter a space where you teach her how to look down on you. That's whether you're in a relationship or not. So where are we? Because if I can't show emotions when I'm dating, and I'm supposed to be able to show emotions when I am dating, where does that leave me? Where does that leave us? Men that want to stand up for ourselves without necessarily doing overly things. Do you hate those guys that go on TikTok? And this is part of the reason why I do this, is because as much as some people may say that I'm the person that's ruining people's lives or whatever the case is, the people that are really ruining people is those pricks performing love, showing it off, and then being the wimps behind the whole thing. So you're portraying this perfect picture where, my wife loves me and I love her and I'm gonna do anything I want for her, and then she ends up cheating on you, or even worse, she doesn't respect you. So I want to bring reality to this space because I've come to realize that there isn't any. The moment you start begging, the begging comes at an exchange. That's what I want you to understand. And the exchange is your spine, your voice, your backbone. You never beg. Not as a husband, not as a boyfriend, not as a partner. You just don't beg. And I think a lot of us need to understand the transition into how to actually become good boyfriends that still have a backbone, because we've been told otherwise. It's great to be someone that doesn't know how to stand up for himself once you're in a relationship. Just do whatever she wants. Happy wife, happy life. That's the one. Is it cool to impress your woman? And this may come as controversial as it comes, and my answer is no. It's not. You should not impress your woman. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not saying you shouldn't provide for your woman, you shouldn't buy her flowers, you shouldn't look out for her, you shouldn't make sure that she's well taken care of under your care. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you now say impress, what are you actually saying? Are you saying that your inner voice is basically screaming, please choose me, even though she's chose you already? Is your inner voice now saying, I'm going to go above and beyond and do things that I know are not sustainable just so that I can make you smile? Because if that's what it's saying, then you've got a problem. And the problem is, you're telling your partner that you're not comfortable enough in who you are, or you love her so much that you lack the emotional capacity to regulate yourself into a space where she can respect you and you can deliver and give to her in a sustainable way. I'm not saying do the bare minimum, but I am saying the next time you want to go to a 5-star restaurant and you've got £50 left in your bank account or whatever the case is, and of course this is not tailored to, it's clearly not going to be the case for some of you guys, but just think twice about the things you're doing. Do it in a way that's comfortable to you. Don't overstretch yourself in the name of, I'm trying to be the best person in this relationship. And that £50 can be stretched mentally too. It can be stretched mentally, it can be stretched spiritually. Whenever you give what you can handle and you're happy to give. Because the moment you overgive, and you're not doing it from a place of love where they genuinely need it, but you're doing it from a place of, I need to show this person that I'm genuinely dedicated to them. That's when the problem is. The problem isn't giving, the problem is performing to give. Here's what we don't realize. The moment you have to prove to someone that they made the right choice, you're basically saying to them that I'm not sure you made the right choice. In fact, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. I'm here knowing that you chose me and I chose you, but I still need to show you that you made a good decision. We've gotten so messed up into the relationship space, into the marriage space. People go bankrupt trying to impress their woman. People, and this is real life story, by the way. People generally go bankrupt trying to impress their woman. Because if they don't do it, someone else will. That someone else isn't you. That's the whole point of it. And if what you have or what you're giving her isn't enough, then she wasn't for you in the first place. But don't come and break the bank to come and look after someone that's asking you not to be yourself, but to be someone that can impress her. She now needs you to convince her that she made the right decision, and you're still there. I'm only telling you this because I've done late shifts to provide. I've done all sorts of things to provide. And I've said things that if you've watched some of my previous videos, I can't believe that actually came out of my mouth. There's one thing that I said I'll never forget is we were having a disagreement, and this was with my exes. We were having a disagreement. There was one of them in particular, and they said to me, listen, I know this is very important to you, but hey, I'll do it in my own time, but it's just not a priority for me right now. And when she said that, I went into this space where I thought what I needed to do is show her how much it meant to me that she should do it. And what I said was this: I said, listen, I don't care about me, but I want you to win. Listen, if I become miserable, if I don't, it's cool. As long as you win, I'm happy. And I thought that was genuine love. Things went downhill from there. Because although I was booking trips, I was dealing with someone that had checked out. I was dealing with someone that was trying to find the courage to start looking again because they realized that this person isn't for me. He's still trying to prove himself. You see, when you're giving her your best and she's pulling away, then you should check where you're giving that from. And what I mean by that is, where is the source of this thing you're giving her? What's the source? What's the reason? Is it because you genuinely chose her and you want her to be part of your vision? Is it because you chose her and you want it to be a thing where she now sees that your efforts not just show her that you're someone that is a man of his word, but you're just genuinely looking after your people, your woman? Or is it because you're too scared to lose her, so you're willing to do anything to show her that she should please stay with you? Because you see, if it's the third one and you're giving your best, you're already losing the moment that source was broken. Because what you're basically saying is that I know that I'm not good enough to keep you around, but please stay, and I'll do whatever I need to do to overcompensate for that. And when that woman receives that message, what you're saying to her is that you will never be good enough, so you have to perform. And in that performance, the gap gets bigger and bigger until you realize the resentment that you've built has led you into a space where you now do things because you have to. You're now in a position where you look at her and you think, is this even worth it? What am I even doing all of this for? You're in a position where you're regretting putting yourself in that position in the first place. And that is because performance doesn't last. You can't be pulled into a great relationship. You have to build it. It has to be intentional. And for it to be intentional, it has to have a very longevity plan. And that longevity plan comes from your ability to sustain it for a very, very long time. You're not here to play for a few months or so. You're here to play the long game. And if you're playing the long game, my friend, you better prepare and set your mind for the long game, not the short game. Not the short 90-day sprints and then boom, you disappear. 90-day sprint again, you disappear. Consistency is what sustains your relationship. But not just normal consistency. This is consistent showing up for yourself and her. So in order for that to happen, you need to find the balance between you, space for you, and space for her. But without the space for you, whatever you're giving her is performance. It comes from an empty tank. Have you ever driven a Mercedes and telling you 30 miles to the next petrol station? You've been doing that for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years sometimes even longer than that. Then you want to get into the amount of people that are doing it for that long. And it's because no one taught us these things, right? So like I said earlier, I done this. I gave more, tried harder. Any arguments, it wasn't even my fault, but I somehow had to come back and resolve them. It was just something I had to do, right? And what I didn't realize I was doing this whole time is I was basically sending her the message, my ex, that she can do whatever she wants to do. I'm just gonna be the fixer. I'm gonna fix everything. It's fine. Disrespect, miss the calls, sure. Yeah, I'll pick up the pieces. What's the next? You don't want to speak to me throughout the week or the day? But that's okay. I'll give you a ring whenever I can. Yeah, sure, no problem. Right? I remember when I first some of my few relationships. I remember I visited someone and then they said, sorry, we're no longer a thing. I moved on with your friend. And I sat there quietly because I refused to give my anger a voice. Because in the past, the anger that I had was very damaging to me and the people around me. So I said, my anger doesn't have a voice anymore. I'm numb. But you see, what I didn't realize is that I was doing all those things. I was building up a voice in me that was basically saying, I hate you for not letting me stand up for yourself. It's deep, right? So the night that changed everything, here's what happened. I had a conversation with that anger of mine. Because at this point, it was all over. I said, listen, you've turned us into Bellend City. Work doesn't respect you. Your ex doesn't respect you. Your family doesn't even know you're going through this. And they probably think, yeah, he's fine. He doesn't complain. He doesn't need anyone's help. He's good. Ooh, yeah, him, he always has it figured out. In fact, maybe he can solve this problem for me. That was the moment I said, I've had it. It's enough. Maybe I should give anger a voice. And I remember screaming. I was screaming, and it wasn't pain. It was vengeance. Vengeance. That voice wanted justice. He wanted justice because he believed the world was fair. And when I came to the realization that we don't live in a fair world, this is not fair. This is not about being fair. This is about being real. This is about you understanding that one day, if you don't stand up for yourself, you're just going to crumble. So I went and I started giving anger my voice. But it was different this time. It didn't need to scream anymore. It was communicating because it understood. It tapped me and said, you've done enough, nice guy. Look at where it got us. Come on, I'll take over from it. Leave it with me. And I started sorting out some real stuff. Like, I'm talking, I 10x'd my career in months. And that's after being there for years. I helped 2 people scale their own careers. I ventured into international spaces. I I was dating left, right, and center, and just it was a game for me. It was I went places that I've never been by myself, and done things that they owed me. No way, he was too fair and kind and to do those things, but the new guy, he didn't give a shit about anything. I remember there was a girl I was speaking to in between this transformation, and she wasn't sure about me. And I went back and I said to her, listen, if you're not sure about me, then this isn't a relationship for you. I only go for people that are sure of me. We don't need to have this conversation. She said that the way she flipped, I was just like, what? Wait, whoa, sister. I was trying to convince you this whole time, and all I needed to do was be certain in myself. You don't need to convince people when you're certain, because they either stay or go. I didn't care about people seeing me anymore, because I understood that I was too invisible anyway. So now I just had to focus on seeing myself. And in that, the journey had begun a long time ago, but in that space, I realized slowly how I was able to transform my journey slowly but surely into this space where this guy can finally discover his true self. Not the guy that was caged, that was trying to protect everyone from me. No, I had to learn how to own my own energy now. It was different. My emotions were no longer going to rule me and drag me right down into the bottom, because I already been there, and it's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? Pain doesn't feel that bad when you've dealt with it prior to when it's what brought you into that space before. You know when it feels bad is when you thought that everything else was great before that. But when you're in pain and you go into further pain, it's like it cancels itself out. It's like when you go gym, you knew that you got the results, and now you know you have to go into the next level to get the other results. And now you're just like, okay, cool, bring it on then. Let's have it. So pain was no longer this thing I was running away from. It was this thing that I was running into. The cheat code that no freaking coach, no nice guy hook, and no date night package will tell you is this. Decide tonight, please. One standard. You will never betray. You shake your hand, you say, whoever you are, my name is Matt Dole. Today, the standards I will never betray is this. If someone cannot bother to call me back or communicate that they've missed my call and they saw my call and something popped up, I am not going to be angry at them, or I won't chase them either. Unless you're in danger, I'm not about to call you more than once. Another standard I would say is 15 minutes. You see, there was a time where I used to get stood up, and a estate agency told me this actually. Give yourself 15 minutes. You're having a date night. You've agreed, you set the date, you have everything looks good. You said, okay, be here at so and so time. You know that person's gonna be late. Fine, you can give her a bit of grace, right? So you ask them during the call, okay, what type of person are you? Are you punctual? Are you late? Bearing in mind that one of the main reasons that attracted me to my wife was the fact that she was actually punctual, because I'm very big on respect in terms of those type of things, right? Anyways, so when it came down to it, 15 minutes, you're not there, you're not communicating where you are, forget it. We're not having it. Even if you get there at 8:15, say date night's at 8:15, you turn up at 8:16 and say, I'm gone. That's how much I meant to stand on standards that you will never betray. Because the moment we see disrespect is like this turmoil, and it's like this tornado, right? And unless you contain it, it just needs a slight opening to explode the whole thing open. So you have to be so strict with disrespect that you leave it no room to enter anywhere near you. Disagreements, you set the standard. Communication, you set the standard. Punctuality, you set the standard. These are all things you set standards for. And when I mean set the standards, I don't say, oh yeah, by the way, these are your standards, but your expectations are over here. Or your expectation over here. So you're expecting someone to come in at 8:15, but you're someone that's late. You come in late all the time. Don't give standards that you can't keep yourself. That's hypocrisy. Step 2, audit where you're performing love. I gave you guys an instance before, and it all comes from asking yourself those deep questions, right? Where is this coming from? You just done something you wouldn't do normally. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place where you genuinely appreciate the person? And is it coming from a place of fullness? You just want to multiply what you're already feeling about the person. Go ahead, that's cool. You're doing it from a place of lack. You're doing it because that person showed you that they're not really interested, so you need to overcompensate. Ooh, that's performance, brother. The difference is, where does it come from? Is it come from abundance or lack? If it comes from lack, then you're simping. If it comes from abundance, then you're taking care, you're looking after your people. And you're also doing it in a sustainable way, funny enough, because you're not going to do something that is going to drain you out, because you're already full anyway. So you got more and more to give, right? Step 3, build a presence or build your aura, okay? And I want you to understand that in order for you to build your aura, I want you to close your eyes and imagine One Piece, Haki, how they just open their eyes and the whole room shuts down. That's the magnitude I want your aura to carry. If you haven't watched One Piece, you're missing out. But the best way to describe it is, aura is the way you carry yourself, the way you shake people's hands. You don't own the room, but people think you do because of how you carry yourself. And you can only do that by broad shoulders, chest out, head up, firm handshake. And I'm not saying squeeze people's hands, but be certain about yourself. Be aware about yourself. You're in that room. So everything you do, stop, don't get lost in sort of looking at this person or that person. No. Embrace your stance. Embrace the fact that you're there, someone looks at you, look at them right back. You sit in silence if you have to. The amount of times I had this one thing that was powerful about sales. And they said the ability to sit in silence is an underrated skill. You get comfortable with silence, you can do anything. Someone's barking, someone's shouting, you just look at them. Like I just did. I can sit in silence for ages. And the moment you can sit in silence by yourself, that's how you train it, and you can now do it in public. Very few people are actually able to handle that silence. So they're going to look to you and think to themselves, damn, this guy's, don't mess with this guy. He's mysterious. You don't know the answer to something, don't overcomplicate it, just keep it calm. I don't know the answer. Be certain, anything that comes out of your mouth, remember, it needs to come from a place of abundance and certainty. You have these two things on lock, you're going to do well. Now, if you're done bleeding quietly, right? If you're done losing respect piece by piece, I want you to book the call. I don't normally say this because I'd want to make sure that I can actually work with you. But in this case and scenario, you've heard what I've had to say. You're still here. Book the call. If you're seeing this, book the call. If not, I hope you've enjoyed the video. But I really need you to understand that in order for this identity shift to happen, it starts with the call. It starts with me understanding exactly how I can implement everything I've learned, everything I've studied into your life. But I can tell you, whenever I speak to any of my clients or potential clients, within 5 minutes, I know exactly what's happening. And it's not because I'm an arrogant piece of shit. No. It's simply because I see the patterns. Because that's all I've been doing for the past 10 years. I saw my patterns I was able to fix my patterns, and this is why I'm able to fix yours. I don't look for many things other than, okay, what's the pattern here? What keeps happening and he doesn't know? And sometimes you can't see it because with your eyes, you only get to see what's in front of you. You don't see what's behind. You can't see you can't see something you're not looking at. This is why you need someone that understands the patterns and can show you otherwise. But you don't have to. I'm just saying that I really want you to get into space and room where you can own these things and end this mess, where instead of giving from performance, you're giving from abundance. When you give from abundance, you're able to give endlessly, but you're also able to say, this is where my boundaries are, and it's okay, because I don't need to prove myself to you. I'm only doing this because I want to. But I really hope this video has helped you, and if you're done begging, like I said, book a call now. But if not, definitely you want to check out why she left you. Go into a bit more detail in regards to the ins and outs of what happened for me and potentially what happened for you too. See you in the next video. Peace.